Good day and welcome to our watercolor journey. Today's painting is inspired by the work of Igor Kaikov, but it's my own original work. He's one of my favorite artists at the moment on Instagram. So if you want to have a look at how I painted the scene, let's go through it. The materials I used is listed here, and I will also add it to the description list. So first of all, I'm using masking fluid. So I'm dipping my brush into the soap and just making sure that no excess soap is on it, and you can dip it into the masking fluid and you will not have any issues. Remember, as soon as you've done all the masking in your painting, then you need to go and rinse your brush immediately. That way nothing will get stuck into the bristles and you will be able to use this brush for a very long time. I'm preserving the white of the house's roofs and also the daisies for the moment, because that will just give me a lot more time to play around and do what I want to do with it. You will also see that I've added a bit of masking fluid in a little container, because I don't want my masking fluid in the bottle to be exposed to air for a long time. I think that helps to let your masking fluid last a much longer time. So let your painting dry. So now masking fluid is dry. Now we can wet the paper. Make sure that the paper is wet thoroughly and that there's no puddles. Let the water soak into the paper before you start painting. And I'm using Naples Yellow here. Naples Yellow is an opaque color, and what's interesting about this color is that it doesn't create green in your sky when you go in with your blue. So I'm not 100% sure about the reason, but I'm thinking because of the opaque nature of it. So if somebody knows, they can please let me know. I'm also going in with lavender. So I'm laying the foundation for the painting at the moment. So the paint is spreading and I'm creating a lot of variety in my colors. And it's really a play of warm colors against cool colors for all time. And especially in the foreground against the daisies, I'm really intensifying the color there. And there's a little bit of a mountain range that I'm creating in the background. But I will also go into that area afterwards to intensify and build it. And I'm adding a little bit of color for my trees. This is all just the foundation for the painting itself, and now it can spread and diffuse on its own. Because you need to lay down your initial layers before you go in with your details later on. Adding a few little cloud formations in the sky, but it's not going to be very intense. as it's going to fuse out quite a bit. And I've used Indanthrene Blue and Sepia for the dark, and it works fabulous to create a dark value there for you. And adding a little bit more of the Indanthrene Blue, so let your painting dry. So this is what we've got now. So you can see there's a lot of light still in your painting, even though I used opaque colors. So opaque doesn't mean that you're going to sit with a heavy painting at the end. So I said I'm intensifying that mountain because I want it to stand out against the sky. Because it's in the distance, I'm really not bothering too much with color variation in it. And now I'm building more colors into the tree areas. And remember that left-hand side is close to the sunlight, so it will not be as dark and the colors will be warmer. I'm not really speeding up this video too much today. If you want to follow the whole process where I make marks, where I intensified colors, then it's great. I would like it if you would watch each and every step. Because watercolor is definitely about layering. And you can see on the right hand side, I'm intensifying the colors and making it much darker because that's further from the sunlight. Just adding a few darker lines just for more contrast against the light. And as you see, I'm going in from one color into the next. And that's also going to help you create interesting variances in your painting. Now I'm wetting the foreground again, because I'm going to intensify the colors here, but I don't want the colors to create hard lines. And I want it to flow on its own and create its own magic. It seems like magic is one of my special words in watercolor, because I think watercolor is a magical medium, and you can create effects that you do not get with all the other mediums at all times. And I'm really playing around in different areas of a painting. And let your painting dry again. Painting is dry, so now I'm using a rubber cement eraser or rubber cement pickup to remove the masking fluid. Not to use the fingers, as you can have residue from oils and so on your hands, and that can mess up your painting process. But that's up to each and every one. I think if you wash your hands properly beforehand, you shouldn't have a problem with that also. adding a few lighter colors with Naples Yellow again, and that will sit on top of the previous layers because the paint is so opaque. I'm intensifying the colors on the houses and creating a little bit of shadows there. So I'm starting with details in this area, but this is not the final details. Just correcting and adjusting at the moment. Details is always at the end of your painting process. There again, I'm bringing a little bit more of the yellows onto the field itself. And then I'm working around the daisies. But remember, your daisies in the background is not going to have so much detail. But I still want them to be a little bit smaller, and it will smooth out some of the hard edges of the masking fluid. And I'm adding colors and then blending it out with water as I go along. I love the way that the colors created light and dark areas, and that ground is definitely not flat. There's lots of interest in it. And now I'm working around the daisies once again in the foreground and just giving them a few ragged edges. And really intensifying the color for those daisies to stand out. And I'm going to play around with the greens and the blues and even the yellows. And where your painting has dried a bit, use your water to blend out those colors. Once again, I'm using a small brush. The paper is not very big in the first case, and also for me personally, I feel that I've got a little bit more control over the brush. Sometimes with a big brush you do not have that much control, and that's what you aim for with a lot of watercolors. But even with a small brush, you can still have a beautiful loose painting. You can see as soon as all the darks is around those white areas, it stands out even more. So shape your daisies in the way that you want them. And if there's some daisies that you do not like, you can even go with color over it and just make them disappear. And even here in the foreground, the colors are much darker, and also I get that play of warm and cool colors against each other. So today I definitely want to tell you that you don't have to ignore opaque colors, because they definitely do have a place in your palette. And opaque colors definitely does not need to be heavy. You can have a transparent effect with it. And I'm really focusing on contrast between light and dark throughout the painting. And certain areas I'm really creating an extra layer just to give it that bit of extra dimension and that everything is not on the same plane. But the colors are definitely much lighter, but they will still show and reflect in your painting. So I'm just adding little yellow dots for the daisies in the middle, just to make them look more like daisies. And do not make the dots all in the same areas, because some of the daisies look forward, some of them are looking sideways, and so let your painting dry again. So this is where we are now. We're close to the final stage. So now we're just adding some of the extra details and just fine-tuning a few things. This is the final area where you look at what does your painting still need to be complete. So adding a few branches in the trees, but it's more a suggestion of branches. As I said, even with the mountain, they are a little bit in the distance, so you do not see all the details. I'm using the Naples to add a few little yellow flowers. So I think Naples is definitely a nice paint to have in your palette. I haven't used it also for quite a while, but after doing the course with Igor, I found it beautiful. Also remember the saying that less is more. So stop when you need to stop. So let's sign it, and that's it. So this is our final result. So please like, subscribe and comment for me. Thank you for watching. See you next time.